Let's just get this out of the way. Watching porn isn't harmless. It's not just a little escape. It's not just a guy thing or something everybody does. No, it's a silent, sneaky, soul-stealing habit that is slowly training your brain to settle, to avoid, to numb, and to hide. And if you're honest with yourself, you know it, you feel it. The guilt after, the fog in your head, the slow loss of motivation. That's not coincidence. That's cause and effect. You weren't put on this planet to sit in a dark room watching strangers pretend to feel something you're too scared to pursue in real life. You were built for connection, confidence, clarity, ambition. And you don't get any of that with your pants down and your mind checked out. Every time you click that video, you're making a choice. You're choosing instant gratification over long-term strength. You're choosing fantasy over reality. And here's the hard truth. Your brain doesn't know the difference. It doesn't know that what you're watching isn't real. It's just rewiring itself to associate arousal with pixels instead of people. Do you understand how dangerous that is? You're building neural pathways that tell your body to respond to a screen, not to connection, not to intimacy, not to love. And then you wonder why your relationships feel flat, why you're bored in real life, why motivation seems harder and harder to find. It's not a mystery, it's the habit. Porn kills drive, it kills ambition. It doesn't make you more masculine, more free, more empowered. It makes you passive, quiet, distracted, detached. And the worst part, you start believing that's just who you are. I'm just not motivated anymore. No. Your motivation has been hijacked. I just can't focus. No, your attention span has been chewed up by cheap dopamine. I can't connect with people. No, you've trained your brain to be satisfied with pixels instead of presence. You want to build confidence? Stop watching porn. You want to build discipline? Stop watching porn. You want to actually feel alive again? Then stop feeding your mind things that numb it. This isn't about shame. This is about freedom. It's about taking back control of your mind, your energy, your presence. Because here's the secret nobody talks about. When you cut that stuff out, you gain a superpower. You get your edge back, you get hungry again, you get focused, creative, alive. And it doesn't happen overnight. The first few days will suck. You'll feel irritable. You'll want to cave. You'll start bargaining with yourself. Just this once. No, that's the old you talking, the version of you that settled, avoided, escaped. But there's a version of you that's clear, driven, grounded. A version of you who walks into a room with energy that turns heads. That version of you doesn't watch porn. That version of you lives in the real world. That version of you isn't afraid of connection, of challenge, of real intimacy. And the only way you meet that version of yourself is by quitting. Let's talk about what porn really steals from you. Not just your time, although let's be real, you've wasted hours. Not just your energy, though you feel it drain out of you afterward like you've just sprinted with no finish line. It steals something deeper, your clarity, your focus, your inner fire. You know that version of you that dreams big, the one that used to be hungry? That version is buried under a mountain of videos, clicks, and temporary highs that give you nothing in return. And don't even start with, I can quit anytime I want. You've said that before. You've said it after watching. You've said it in the shower. You've said it when your motivation came back for a day or two. But then you slipped again. And it wasn't a mistake. It was a pattern. You didn't fall. You followed the craving, the old script, the path of least resistance. That's what this really is. A lack of a refusal to fight for your life, because porn is the easy way out. It's frictionless. It gives you the illusion of control without any actual effort, and it costs you everything that matters. You ever notice how flat life feels when you're deep into that habit? You don't see the beauty in the world anymore. You stop flirting with your goals. You stop looking people in the eye. You stop taking care of yourself. Your room's a mess. Your phone is a mess. Your mind is a mess. And every time you try to climb back out, you've got a browser history pulling you back down like quicksand. That's not freedom, that's prison. You want to be powerful? Learn how to delay gratification. Learn how to say no to the impulse that wants to own you. That's real strength. That's how you build confidence. Every time you stop yourself, even once, even for a day, you prove to your brain that you're in charge, not the craving, not the urge, you. You want to fix your anxiety, your depression, your lack of self-respect? Start with this. Stop feeding your mind junk. Stop letting yourself escape every time something feels hard, boring, or uncomfortable. Growth comes through discomfort, not distraction. You want to know why you feel stuck, why your goals feel out of reach, why your relationships are shallow, or you keep pulling away the moment something real shows up. It's not because you're broken. It's because your brain's been trained to expect life to be a highlight reel, and when it's not, when things are slow or awkward or require actual effort, you bail. You go back to the screen. You go back to the habit that gives you nothing but takes everything. Enough. This ends when you decide it ends. Not tomorrow, not when it's easier, not when you feel ready. Now, right now. This isn't about becoming perfect. It's about becoming honest, brave, grounded, focused. You know what to do. The only question is, are you going to do it? Because here's the truth. Porn is not just a private habit. It's a public limiter. It affects your relationships, your work, your drive, your confidence. It bleeds into your presence, your posture, your eye contact, your ability to speak up, take action, and take up space in this world like you belong in it. You think nobody can tell, but they can. They can feel it. The lack of energy, the lack of edge, the dullness in your eyes. You can't fake confidence when your spirit is tapped out. The real you, the version of you underneath all that guilt and fog, that version is dangerous, magnetic, powerful. But you'll never meet them if you keep choosing comfort over courage. You know what's wild? Most people don't even realize they're addicted because society has normalized it. It's just a phase. At least I'm not hurting anyone. Really? You think staying small, wasting your time, killing your motivation, and showing up in your relationships like a ghost is not hurting anyone? Let me tell you something. Porn is robbing you of presence. You're not really here. You're not really with anyone. You're not really connected to your life. You're just existing in a loop. And the longer you stay in that loop, the harder it gets to break, not because you're weak, but because you've let your brain get hijacked by a reward system that's been designed to keep you hooked. That's right, porn isn't just a bad habit, it's a billion-dollar industry that thrives off your numbness. Every click you make, someone profits off your weakness, off your loneliness, off your isolation. They don't care if you fail. They don't care if you lose years of your life, but you should. So what's the solution? First, wake up. Stop pretending it's not a big deal. Stop telling yourself you'll stop when you're in a relationship. No, you won't. You'll bring that same baggage right into it. And when that person wants real intimacy, vulnerability, presence, you'll be distracted, you'll be comparing, you'll be detached, because your mind will still be trained to respond to fantasy, not reality. Second, get honest, write it down, track it, see the patterns. When do you slip? What triggers you? Boredom, loneliness, stress? Every single time you reach for that screen, there's a deeper need underneath it. You're not craving porn, you're craving connection. You're not craving sex, you're craving significance. You're not craving release, you're craving relief. And guess what? None of that gets met when you check out instead of checking in. Third, build new habits. You can't just stop watching porn. You've got to replace it. You need something to shift that energy toward. Start working out, meditate, journal, build something, learn a skill, talk to real people, rewire your reward system. It's not enough to say no. You need a bigger yes, a vision that excites you, a goal that lights you up, a standard you refuse to lower anymore. And here's the real test. How do you act when no one's watching? That's who you really are. That's your character. The world might not see what you're doing behind closed doors, but you do. You feel it. You know whether you're building yourself or betraying yourself. Let's get brutally honest here. This isn't just about stopping porn. This is about becoming the kind of person who doesn't need to escape anymore. The kind of person who can sit with discomfort and not run from it. The kind of person who shows up fully, who looks people in the eye, who speaks with conviction because they're living in alignment. You don't get that by indulging in fake pleasure. You get that by building real power. You don't need to be perfect, you just need to be committed. You'll have slip-ups. That's part of growth. But what matters most is that you keep showing up. You fall, you get back up. You feel the urge, you breathe through it. You crave the escape, but you stay. And every single time you do that, you get stronger. And I want to say this loud and clear. You're not broken, you're not damaged, you're not weak, you're human. But it's time to take back your mind. It's time to reclaim your fire. You've been quiet for too long, distracted for too long, playing small for too long. You were not built to watch life pass you by from behind a screen. This is your wake-up call. This is the moment everything changes, if you decide it does. Let's wrap this up, not with a whisper, but with a roar. Because this is the part where everything shifts. This is where you stop being a passive consumer of life and start being the creator of it. You stop asking, why do I feel stuck? And start declaring, I'm done living small. This is not just about quitting porn. This is about who you're becoming. The person who stops watching porn is the person who starts living with purpose, with power, with vision. Why? Because when you cut off the cheap dopamine, when you say no to distraction, when you stop numbing yourself, your real desires start to wake up again. You stop chasing fantasy and start building reality. Look, your energy is currency. Where you spend it is what you build. Every single day, your choices are either compounding weakness or compounding strength. And porn? That's a daily transaction where you trade power for passivity, fire for fog, confidence for comfort. But the moment you say, I'm done, you stop giving that power away. You start taking it back. Here's what happens when you quit. 1, you think clearer. No more brain fog. No more scattered thoughts. No more sluggish mornings. Your mind sharpens. You start having real ideas again. You become present. You notice people. You notice opportunity. You start creating instead of consuming. 2, you walk differently. Confidence isn't just mental. It's physical. Your posture shifts, your eye contact locks in. You don't have anything to hide anymore. That quiet guilt that sat in your chest like a rock, gone. Now you've got room to breathe, room to grow. 3, you get hungry again. Porn tricks you into feeling satisfied, but it's fake. It kills your ambition. But when you quit, oh man, your goals start looking real again. Your work ethic comes back. Your discipline kicks in. Your internal engine revs. You want more because you know you're capable of more. 4, you reconnect. Your relationships stop being shallow. You actually feel people again. You start craving depth, not just stimulation. You start appreciating touch, conversation, presence. That numbness that made everything feel dull, it fades. You come back to life. 5, you rebuild integrity. Every time you say no to the craving, you rebuild trust with yourself. You stop lying. You stop making excuses. You stop hiding in habits. You look in the mirror and respect the person staring back. That's priceless. And listen, this doesn't mean it's easy. It's not. You'll feel uncomfortable. You'll wrestle with urges. You'll have moments where the voice in your head whispers just one more time. But now you know what's really at stake. Now you know it's not just about that video, it's about your life. So what do you do in those moments? You pause, you breathe, you remind yourself who the hell you're becoming, and you choose power again and again and again. Because quitting porn isn't a one-time thing. It's a practice, a choice you make daily, hourly sometimes. But each time you choose differently, you rewire your brain. You strengthen your discipline. You reclaim another inch of your life. You want to be unstoppable? Master your mind. Master your impulses. Master the moments no one sees. That's how real leaders are made. That's how confidence is built. That's how you unlock your next level. You don't do it with hacks. You do it with hard truth and hard work. You do it by saying, I'm not a slave to my urges. I am stronger than my triggers. I don't need fake pleasure when I've got real purpose. You keep showing up for yourself even when it's boring, even when it's hard, even when nobody claps. Because you're not doing this for applause. You're doing this for freedom. So let me leave you with this. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are not a victim of this habit. You are powerful. You are disciplined. You are dangerous in the best possible way. But only if you stop settling. Only if you stop escaping. Only if you stop watching other people live and finally start living for yourself. You're not here to watch. You're here to win. You're here to build. You're here to rise. And it starts today. So let the old version of you go, the one who numbed, who scrolled, who watched instead of worked, who hid instead of healed. That version had its time. Now it's your turn to take the wheel. So close the tab, clear the history, clean the slate, and go become the strongest version of you. Not tomorrow, not next week. Yeah.